Thank you for having us. We love doing this session. If you joined us a few minutes ago, we were saying that, this topic is something that we get a lot of questions about, and it seems to be this mystery. And, from the Microsoft Teams side, I thought it was important just to get that information out there and let people know what we're looking for. And it's not some secret sauce. And we'll talk about that. But for those of you who I haven't met, my name's Laurie Pottmeyer. I'm the community lead for Microsoft Teams. And Allie, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Allie. So I lead MVP engagement kind of across Microsoft 365. So Laurie and I work together pretty much daily. And yeah, we love doing this session. I think it's fun to meet the community. Usually we have some current MVPs who join us. I see we have some today. And that's right. It was Laurie's birthday yesterday. So everyone say happy birthday.
Yeah, we don't need to. Yeah. Thank you.
Maybe we'll sing at the end. But yeah, we're so excited to be here, and it's just really fun to meet new faces and see our current friends in the community, and tell you all what it means to be an MVP, focused on Teams and the broader Microsoft 365, and kind of untangle that process for everybody. So we're really excited. So first, what is an MVP? So MVP it stands for Microsoft Most Valuable Professional, and they are technology experts who have deep knowledge of our products and services. Obviously, specifically, we're talking about Teams and its integrations across our products. MVPs are very passionate, and they love to share their knowledge with their community, not just how much they love Teams, but what they know about it, and different use cases and tips and tricks and things like that. MVPs are always on the bleeding edge. So MVPs love to get their hands on the new exciting technologies. They're usually in all of those early adopter programs and really excited to touch things as soon as they're new. Not only that, but they love to provide feedback on the new things and the old things. So we absolutely love to get feedback from MVPs about our products, different use cases, what's working, what's not. And we love how honest and open everybody is with us on roadmap and different scenarios and things like that. MVPs bring together diverse platforms, products, and solutions to solve real-world problems. And I think maybe most importantly is they have that community spirit, right? So MVPs are kind of those people that all their friends or colleagues would immediately call to talk about Teams and its related technologies, and they're always willing to help. And they just have a passion for community and having a positive impact, valuing diversity and inclusion and mentorship and friendship. So this is a really important thing for us.
You mentioned the friendship, and I always love to tell a story, and I won't mention any names, but they might be the organizers of this event who met in the tech community. And it was so funny the first year that they came to MVP Summit, or maybe it was Airlift. It was MVP Summit or Airlift, and the very first time that they met, they ended up being roommates in Bellevue, and came from worlds apart and had never met, and that was just really cool. So the community spirit is huge, and I know all of you who participate in the community at any level already are experiencing that, and just getting to know people who are passionate about the same things that you are. So, but I love that particular story. Okay, I think that must be Adam is opening and letting us know is Airlift. So when we all could be in person. Hopefully we'll do that again soon. But what does it take to be an MVP? I posted the site where you can look at a lot of examples about what it means to be an MVP, and some examples of things that people have done. And like I said, there's really no secret sauce. There's not a certain number of activities that you need to do to be an MVP. It really is dependent on the types of activities that you do, and how many of them doesn't really matter, but certainly, you know, connecting with your community and sharing your knowledge outside of what you do as your day-to-day job is really the key. So as we think through, you know, the different activities like blogging and sharing things in GitHub, creating code and sharing that, answering questions in the Microsoft Tech community and forums, and all of those different activities are really, really important. But those are things that you would do above and beyond what you do for your day-to-day responsibilities, the things that you're getting paid for. So if your company is paying you, or if you're representing yourself from your company going and speaking at an event, that wouldn't necessarily be a community activity. That's still great and we love it and keep talking about Teams and our other products, of course, but the MVPs are really those people that go above and beyond their day-to-day responsibilities and share their knowledge just because they love doing that. And that kind of brings us to slide 5, which is Ikigai. And this is the idea that you're just loving what you do, and all of those things that come into, you know, the MVP program. You're doing it just because you love to do it. And really, I know that's a frustrating answer for people who are, you know, wondering, what do I need to do? There's not a certain number, but I will tell you, in all of those activities, your passion will shine through if that's really what you love to do. When you look at things like blogging and speaking, podcasts, the things that we really love to hear about are the things that we can't talk about ourselves. Not that we can't talk about them, but just that you being on the outside of Microsoft have a different perspective. You have that real world experience that we can't necessarily we can't really replicate, right? We are really good at the how-to and pretty good at the documentation, not perfect. And sometimes we need you to tell us what isn't documented, and that will help us, but also filling those gaps. And you know, if there are things that you think need to be better documented, document that and get it out there. And you know, you can always have our docs updated, but really filling those gaps and sharing your experiences is what we're looking for. So when I'm reviewing the candidates that come through, and Allie, if you want to go to number 6, and before you start, I'll kind of give a story. But as I go through and look at the people that get to me, I'm part of that V team towards the end there. What I'm looking at are the people who are contributing to Microsoft Teams. I'm clicking on your blogs. I'm looking at your videos. I'm looking at the different presentations you've done. And what I'm looking for is net new content. Are you taking the Teams blogs or, you know, what's new and just regurgitating that information? Or are you taking that and sharing your experience with that feature, the pros and cons of using private channels and how you've done that within your organization? Or is it just Microsoft released this and here's how it works? Well, that's already documented from us. We've already written a blog on that. It's in the What's New blog. We have the how-to documentation on docs. We don't necessarily need you to rewrite that. It's great when you reference it, when you talk about it in your presentations, and you can show people where there's more information documented on how to. But the piece that you can really add value to is your own experiences. So that's really what we're looking for as we go through and see see all the things that you've participated in. So Allie, do you want to share the process?
Yeah. So this is kind of like the mystery that's not really a mystery, right? But this is the process that we all go through. So we review MVP candidates on a monthly basis. So the first thing you want to do is show your passion for Microsoft Teams and all of its integrations, in whatever way, you know, makes sense for you. Based on your passion, I think you just naturally get other eyes on it, whether it's other MVPs or people at Microsoft that start to notice. That's how you really get the process started, right? So one of us or another MVP will notice your work and nominate you for the award. You'll have to submit all of your contributions. That's probably everyone's least favorite part about being an MVP, is having to keep track of all the things you're doing and the impact that they're having. But once you get that submitted, it first goes through CPMs. So there's lots of crazy acronyms all across Microsoft, but particularly in this program. CPMs are the community program managers, so they're kind of locally based and focused on community activities, tend to know the user groups really well and all of those things. So they do the first review, and then after that is a V-team review, where people like Laurie and I will see the application. Once we approve, you get the award. And we review nominations monthly. They carry over usually for up to 3 months, I think, and then you'll have to reapply if it doesn't come through at that point. But we have some pro tips on here. Keep your submissions up to date with all current contributions, include links, and include the reach to show your impact. So those are just like some pro tips to really get us to notice. Especially if the people reviewing don't know you personally, haven't seen your work personally. This is the way that we can really see what you're doing and how you're contributing.
Yeah, I think like with the blogs or, especially blogs probably, but being able to share the individual links to the blogs that you've written rather than your main blog, because we can't get all the information from clicking on that. We have to then go. So it's really useful to call out just the most important ones that you want us to look at. And then, you can show the number of views. The number of views is not going to make or break you. So if you just started writing a new blog the last 6 months and, you're getting 50 views or something like that, and somebody else is getting, thousands of views, don't worry about that. I mean, once you get into the community more and more, you'll start to have more views. That's not going to make or break you. The important thing for us is that your content is what we're looking for.
Now we're just going to go through a bunch of ways that you can get involved without being an MVP. And a lot of these ways that you can get involved are more ways to kind of get noticed, get to know the community, improve your contributions, and hopefully be able to join our MVP community someday.
So the first thing is the Teams community, and Adam and Chris, they know, and Vesa, and many of you are in there quite a bit. The Teams community is our kind of most broad reach, and I think we have 218,000 members or something crazy like that in there right now in the Teams community within the broader Microsoft tech community. And so that's a place where you can find our What's New blog. We have a community blog there, and I think I have a separate slide on that. But it's also where we have a Q&A forum. And so we look at that not being product feedback. We have a separate tool for that. It's not a support channel. We don't have support people in there answering questions. It's a community. So it's really those of you out there answering questions for each other and sharing knowledge. So it doesn't have to just be going in there to ask a question. Did you write a blog, your personal blog, on a topic that you think would be helpful for people? Go in there and share it in the tech community. Hey, I just wrote this blog about XYZ, and maybe give a couple of sentences. You might want to check it out. And then they can go and visit your blog. That helps you get more views, but it also shares that information with people. So the tech community is really meant to be a place where you can ask questions, you can answer questions based on your own experiences, and then you can share your knowledge there as well. So I urge you to go in there and check that out. And I mentioned that there is a community blog space in there. So a lot of people don't have their own blog space, especially getting started. So we have a special space in the Microsoft Teams community there within the tech community that's specifically for those people external to Microsoft who want to share their knowledge. And so we regularly will publish different blogs from people out in the community on a variety of topics. And sometimes you'll see recaps of events, or, you know, after Ignite, you may see MVPs recapping some of the sessions. Those things all happen in that community blog space. So if you're interested in being a community blogger, Allie put the link there. It's TeamsCommunityBlogger. And if you just want to read the blogs, it's TeamsCommunityBlog. So, but go and check it out and submit your idea if you've got an idea of something that you would like to talk about. Leslie mentioned language and being able to communicate in different languages. And I did want to call out, the community blog does not need to be in English. So if you have English as your second language, or even for people that do not speak English, if you want to write a blog in your native language, we would love that. There is a translation capability in the blog space in the Microsoft Tech community. So if you feel more comfortable reading in a different language, you can change that. But we don't have any limitations on languages there. So if that's something that you would like to do, just let us know when you submit your idea. So you want to talk about Humans of IT?
So another community, which is definitely not specific to Teams and really goes across technologies, but is really just kind of about that human side of tech, is our Humans of IT community. This is also public on Microsoft Tech Community, aka.ms/Humans of IT. And if you join the community, you can see some of our latest blogs. Actually, a lot of the older blogs are amazing too and worth reading. There's great discussions. There's a private space that's focused on mentorship if you want to join. And we always post recaps and upcoming events where we have usually 5 or 6 sessions at the major Microsoft events. And it's a really great way to get to know the community, whether it's MVPs, external folks, internal folks, and we talk about lots of different things, somewhat in like the diversity, inclusion, accessibility space. We also do a lot of just like non-traditional career journeys, how people got into tech, how people join the community, what community means to them, and a big focus on just social impact and tech for good. And similar to the Teams community, we also accept blogs, whether you're an MVP or not. So if you're interested in writing a blog for us or potentially speaking on a topic at an upcoming Microsoft event, if you complete this form, we will definitely get to you. And we love to meet. Oh, there we go. I didn't realize I had those on animations. But there's lots of different topics, and if you kind of read through them, you'll see the different options. But this is a great way to just get noticed. I think we've met a lot of what became MVPs through Humans of IT, because we found that they had a technical expertise as well. And this is just a great way to get to know the rest of the community and get some writing or speaking experience.
One of the things that we started this year, this past, I guess, year, was the Women in Teams group. And that is something that Leslie mentioned. Women in Teams is open to everybody, women and allies. And it's really meant to be a place where we can meet on a monthly basis. We have a team set up to engage in. And there's lots of opportunity to engage there, just learning about each other, asking each other questions, participating in different discussions. And we have some special interest groups, like people who are specifically interested in user adoption, or people who are specifically interested in developers, or just different topics that you can talk to other like-minded people. Like I said, it's open to everybody. We usually have one Microsoft speaker and one community speaker each month. And those are both men and women talking on a variety of topics. And sometimes it's something that is, work-life balance or how to use a particular tool. Or we had one time a speaker come in and talk about updating your LinkedIn profile. And then a Microsoft speaker will sometimes talk about their journey to Microsoft and at Microsoft, or what they're working on. And I think it's really important for everybody to see the great work that women within our own team at Microsoft are doing, and also to be able to share and connect with our broader community, and not just MVPs, but with our broader community of, some of the work that we're up to and what that means to be a member of the Microsoft Teams team. So urge you all to go to aka.ms Women in Teams to sign up, and then we'll be sending out an invite probably later this week for our next get together in April. So be looking out for that if you're a member of the Women in Teams group. And then you'll also get into the team and you can see what different things are in there. It's also a great way for you who may be looking for blogging opportunities to guest blog, to be a guest on a show, on a podcast, or for speaking opportunities, to understand what's out there. One of the things that we do, Zoe always will communicate the latest call for content and different events that are happening, which is really cool, because then if you're looking to get involved, even just as an attendee, you can see what some of those things are coming up. So we just really want to create a great place to network, and we hope that you'll join that. And then another thing that we have is the Teams Public Preview. And some of you may be participating. If you're already an MVP, or if you're part of a customer, if you're working for a customer that's part of the customer tab, you may be in early rings already, testing and validating our product. But if you're not, we have the Teams Public Preview. And this is a really good way as you're thinking through some of the activities that you want to participate in to become an MVP. We really think feedback is important with Microsoft Teams. I cannot stress that enough. It's not just, oh, how many blog views did you get? We're not just looking at marketing teams. Certainly, we want you to share your knowledge, and that helps market teams in the background. But it's important for us to have you test and validate. So public preview is definitely important for us, for you to join and see what is new, see what is coming, and help us find bugs. Just submit away because it's all of you who help us improve the quality of our product prior to going to Ring 4 or the public ring. As some of you may know, and it's kind of one of those things that's like a big question, is Microsoft Teams features go through different rings. And so depending on which ring your tenant is in, and unless you're part of TAP or some sort of validation program, you're usually in Ring 4. That's our public ring. So it has to go through all these checkpoints down these certain rings and get an okay to move to the next ring. And that's how we ensure quality. And sometimes things go from one ring, maybe Ring 3, and it goes back to Ring 1. So for instance, the Teams team in engineering, we are in Ring 1. Our engineers are in Ring 0. And then it just progresses down the line. Public preview is closer. It's at 3.6. So Ring 3.6 is where you are in public preview. And again, that is before it goes out to the public for Ring 4. So definitely need your help testing and validating. That's a really great place to start to do that. And then the second thing is the Teams feedback, and being able to go in and share your product feedback on, all of our features that are already released and how we can improve those, but then also new ideas that you have of ways to further develop our product, and new features that you think would be great or that you're hearing from your customers. Be sure you put it in there. That is our primary kind of broad scale way of collecting feedback. And it's really useful if you can search for items in there first and make sure that they don't already exist, because otherwise it doesn't, we have multiple items that are all the same. And if they're not collectively together, we can't show the impact of that. So it's better if you look for something that already exists and then add your own comments to that and your vote. Those are two separate things. You can comment on something without voting on it. Maybe you disagree with what is being asked. Don't vote on it. Just put your comments in the comments. If you think it's a good idea, then for sure, vote on it and add your comments and share the why. Why is this important? You should always be thinking when you're giving us feedback, not we want the button to be red. But why? Why is this a blocker or to adoption, or why is this important to your users? What are they not able to do? Instead of telling us how to fix something or how to build something, share the problem, share the impact of the problem. And that helps us understand exactly what you're looking for, and we can come up with solutions to do that. So super helpful to give us Teams feedback, and please continue to use it. Those of you who are already MVPs, please go to Teams MVP feedback. That's where we can give you NDA updates, and during MVP Summit, we'll be getting your feedback there. You can also go and vote in things in Teams Feedback in our public forum, but once you're an MVP, and we do have a private portal for that. So feedback is really important to Teams engineering. So getting involved, put the links there. We can kind of skip through that. Those are just the links that we talked about. Some of them are in the chat, but please engage in the ways that we have kind of had these tools and ways to interact with us today. That's really helpful. And then, of course, your own activities, your speaking engagements and everything else. Be sure that you're getting that out there, sharing what you're doing, whether that's on social or via blogs, or, connecting with other people that already have audiences. And I meant to mention earlier, too, when Allie was talking about kind of the process of nomination. MVPs they're not able to nominate themselves. MVP candidates are nominated by current MVPs or Microsoft FTEs, or full-time employees. So if you have a relationship with an MVP or somebody at Microsoft, and they don't have to be on the Teams team, by the way, this is pretty much the process for all the product groups. I'm just partial to Teams. But if you know of people, then go and tell them that you're interested. Make sure they know, because sometimes people just don't realize that you're even interested in being an MVP. So don't be afraid to get a mentor. Hey, how did you go about it? What are some of the things that you did? Can you help me with some activities that may give me some visibility? But I think, ultimately, like Allie said at the beginning, it's all about doing what you love, and people will notice. Don't try too hard. Don't, just write blogs to write blogs. Definitely do it because you love it, but also because it makes sense. It's filling a void. It's sharing knowledge that people need to know about, not just, oh, shoot, I haven't written a blog this week. More or less is more in this case. More, we're looking at quality, not quantity. So there's a resources slide up there too, some additional resources that we have for you. And I think we have like 2 minutes. So are there questions? I think we've gotten some questions in the chat. Oh, thank you, Nicole, for offering your services as a coach. I know a lot of people on this call are MVPs, like I said, and feel free to speak up if anybody has anything to add that Allie and I didn't cover, or if you have a question, let us know.
Yeah, the current MVPs have been doing a great job in chat of answering all the questions. We don't even need to be here. But yeah, if there are additional questions, we're here for a couple minutes, and I will also be in alt space for the after party. So hopefully I'll see some of you in there too.
Leslie, you have a comment? She's got her hand raised, but she's not speaking.
She might be muted.
I'm allowing the microphone for her, so.
Oh, great.
Hello.
Okay, thanks.
Hello. Can you hear me okay now?
Yes.
Oh, no, it's
Hi.
really
It's good to
hi
hear
there.
your voice.
Hi there. Hi there. I'm full of cold, so I'm feeling a bit poorly at the moment. You don't need to see me on camera, but yeah, it's just really funny you mentioned about the blogging part of it. That yeah, I mean, I've been a MVP now, as you know, for 5 years, and you know, it took me a while to get in the flow of blogging, but since December of last year, and I've written, I think, 16 blogs, but they're all about Viva. Because suddenly the floodgate has opened on me, and it's just like my, you know, I just feel like it's my subject now around user adoption. So suddenly I've got an awful lot to say. So so yeah, I used to, you know, they used to do like LinkedIn posts and Twitter posts, and suddenly I've got my own blog site, and yeah, it's I'm out walking the dogs, and then all of a sudden I like have to run home. I suddenly feel another blog coming on. So yeah, so it might not come immediately, but once you get into the flow of maybe some new features or something, you might start wanting to blog and podcast, you know, on a really regular basis.
Yeah, and I do want to, I mean, you mentioned that you're blogging on Viva, and I kind of mentioned at the beginning, at some point, it doesn't really matter the products, right? As long as they're, I mean, you could be, well, right now, the way that is set up is that there's Office apps and services. So that's, you know, basically anything under M365. And so as you're thinking through what you want to talk about, sometimes it's going to be, you know, all Viva every day. Like Leslie's kind of on this path right now of talking about Viva, but then there might be a time when she wants to talk about Viva and Teams, or, you know, SharePoint and Teams, or go in a different direction. And that's fine. It doesn't have to be just one product. You could be talking about multiple products, just as long as they're in the same category. Those are the things that we're going to be looking at to qualify you as an MVP. So if you're talking about Teams and Power BI, that's a little bit different, because those are two different categories. So you would have to do a lot in Power BI and a lot in Microsoft Teams to have business apps and OAS awards. But if you want to talk about Microsoft Teams and Power BI, that's completely fine. Just continue the Microsoft Teams. If you're more on the business app side, or if you're a developer and you really want to talk about, you know, SharePoint or Teams development, then just keep on that track, and then you'll be in that category. You'll be nominated in that category.
Definitely. And something else I would just add is, like, I mean, I'm biased towards like the general Microsoft 365 space, right? So to me, the more you know about Microsoft 365 and how all the products integrate with each other, that's really helpful to me and my team, right? So we love seeing that. And truly, even if you're a Power BI MVP, you're still going to be invited to contribute to Teams and to join the Teams and the Office apps and services calls. We keep all of our things open to all categories. So if Teams isn't your thing, that's fine. You're still going to get access to build your skills there and contribute there as well.
Good point. Teams is one of those products that there's so much integration that we prefer MVPs have a wide variety of skills and knowledge. So yeah, it doesn't have to just be one thing. And for MVPs that are awarded in another category, if you are business apps or Azure or something else, great. When you become an MVP, come over and participate in Teams. The more the merrier. We have a team, and it's open to any MVP from any award category. So if you're just really interested in Teams and kind of want to do some things, but really your expertise is in Azure, then go down that road and do your activities that you normally would do. And then once you're an MVP, you can absolutely share your knowledge with the Teams product group and with other MVPs and learn from each other. There's no gate there, I guess is the best way to say it.
Exactly.
So we've gone over time by 4 minutes.
Talking.
I'm counting. But I guess I would say, and Allie, I know you agree, like, feel free to reach out to us if you have questions. And the CPMs, the community program managers, are the ones that will talk to you about your nominations and follow up with you. They should be communicating that. But honestly, we're here to take any questions too. It's to our benefit to have quality people that are representing our products and at Microsoft as MVPs. So, we want to make sure that you get all of your questions answered. And, if there are ways that we can connect you with current MVPs, and as some of them here today raised their hand and offered to be mentors. But if there's somebody that you want in your local region, or if there's anything that we can do to connect you with people that are already MVPs that have a lot of knowledge to share, let us know. They're always open to having those conversations and helping out where they can.
And I don't know about you, Laurie, but I've had conversations with current people who are MVPs now who just joined this session, reached out afterwards, and now they're MVPs. So definitely don't hesitate to reach out. We get these questions all the time, and we want to help, and we want more people in the community. We want new voices and new faces. So please reach out.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks, Corona, for hosting us today.
Thank you.
And Team Station for having us. We love this event.
Yes.
Thank you. It was great to have you here. It was a great pleasure to see you. And yes, thank you for the great session full of cool information and for your passion also working this.
Absolutely.
Our pleasure.
So thank you everyone for joining this session. I have placed also the link for rating the session and also about the after party. So see you there.
See you there.
Thanks everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye.